Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. This will be our January 2021, new year, compilation video. So for the folks that are new to the channel, or you just happen to be stopping by because the YouTube algorithm did a nice thing, we do these beginning of every month. We look at the expected automotive kit releases for the given month, and again, January 2021. So we have a pile of stuff over here from Aoshima to go through, but almost all of it is all of it is reissues, but almost all of it are restock reissues, not even like replenishment reissues, which are what the other things here are. So it's a lot of things we're going to plow through really quickly, but we do have domestic kit releases, of course, and then we have some kit releases from Hasegawa as well. The other uh, producers so far are little AWOL. So Salvino's JR are going to give you a kit for January of 2021, and it is going to be this 79 Oldsmobile 442 from AJ Foyt, Valvoline sponsorship. Appears to be Riverside from the background of the picture, only because, well, there's no walls anywhere, and there really wasn't too many other road tracks run at that time. I'm going to guess Riverside, as that has been the basis of their other Salvino's kits in the past, as far as road racing kits or non-circle track kits, as you may prefer. But of course, Salvino's doesn't really officially announce the racetracks because that would mean they would have to pay licensing to the racetracks. Of course, Riverside's closed now. I'm not sure how that would work, but be that as it may, I'm sure somebody owns it and somebody would have money for the name. But that is the first sort of reappearance of the Oldsmobile kit since early last year. They went on a very large monogram reissuing tangent last year, of course, with their own body being added to the Le Mans and the Grand Prix 2+2, as well as the flat front for the Monte Carlo. Their own kit's not really seeing too much light of day last year. That was intentional. They wanted to give a little breathing room to those Oldsmobile Monte Carlo kits because they had, of course, released a whole pile of those all at one time. And yeah, so the Oldsmobile sees the light of day again, and of course, we expect the new Dodge Charger Salvino's kit to be seeing the light of day probably in February. Haven't heard any delays news on that yet, so that more than likely will be the February kit. On to round two. They have a pile of things for this month as well. One MPC kit, and that is going to be what is known as the Torque Trike. I believe this had a slightly different name originally. There is some licensing kerfuffle going on, so they just sort of modify the name slightly. But this is the fifth of the six Trick Trike Collector Series. This is going to have pre-printed, the rear slicks are going to be pre-printed for drag racing on one side. They didn't mention the actual company name, so I don't know if they're the M&H or they're different Firestones. And then there are going to be red lines on the other side, so I'm guessing that's Firestones. And then the clear pieces are going to be obviously clear and also in translucent orange and translucent purple, as has been the recent trend where they offer you the windows in a number of different colors. On the AMT side of things, they're going to reissue the Kenworth Challenger mixer. This is a big one for the truck guys, something that's been often requested for several decades now. It appears the last time this kit was out was 1971. I'm not sure if that's technically correct or not. Scalemates is what Scalemates is in terms of the information on domestic kit releases. If you guys want to help Scalemates out, go over there and add and edit. Or let me know, because I have not quite admin powers, but I'm above the average user in terms of my ability to edit things over there, because I've edited so many things over there over the course of the years. But it is completely and totally user-generated information, meaning that we as modelers are what build that database. And if there was a reissue of the Challenger Mixer between the original 1971 version and the 2020 reissue, no one has mentioned it. So at any rate, I know that kit has not been out for a very, very long time, regardless as to whether or not there was a reissue after 1971. And yeah, that one will be making a comeback. Pretty much a reissue of the boxer. There's no mention of retool parts, just new decals for, of course, making the mixer, which is like a two-tone mixer. It's sort of an orange or white, or maybe it's a red and white. It's hard to tell on the box art exactly what color that color is going to be when it's printed out on decals. Reissue of the 1953 Studebaker in a UPS tin. So this is about 5 years ago. We saw this reissued last in a, was it Mr. Speed sort of Salt Lake or Salt Flex drag racer on the box, but it just always come with all the parts to build the stock car. This version has the factory stock on the box art. Obviously, it is a recreation of the U.S. Postal stamp. They did a stamp for a number of older collector cars, and this happened to be one of them. There'll be a couple more of these through 2021 from round 2 as well for different cars, and otherwise contents are the same. So if you saw it in 2016 or any time going back to when it was created, you know what's in there, just a different box. Note the tin will cost you about $6 or $7 more than the actual kit would cost otherwise. So none of that going on. Reissue of one of those kits from the, I think these were, I want to say they were late 1990s, maybe early 2000s. The Street Slammers. You may recall these were snap-tight kits. They have no interior. They have blacked out window glass. It is just a very basic rolly chassis and the body. And this is a 1958 Plymouth Fury done as a Pro Street. And, you know, it's one of those things that's a sort of a canvas, if you will, because you could do things with the outside of it, but it doesn't have an interior, doesn't have a chassis to speak of, and it obviously, the glass is black, so it's not even a worry about, not even a worry to see the interior because one doesn't exist. It's going to be molded in neon green for all you fans of molded color plastic. So that's coming back out. There'll be a couple more of those coming out in 2021 as well. Going to get a reissue of the 1977 Ford van. Again, when I went back to see when this was out last, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It was out last year as the Coke truck, and it was out the year before that as the other, I can't even remember what that was called, but it's been reissued like 3 or 4 times now. This is going to be the Surfer's van. So it is a 1970s surf style type decal package, new decals. It's going to have 5-spoke mags and side exhaust. I'm not sure those have technically been in the kit before. I know that some of the custom parts have been, but I'm not sure all of the custom parts have been. It's going to give you, because I don't think I never have bought the Ford van. I have the Chevy van, but I never bought the Ford van. So I don't know what the contents of the Ford van are just offhand, but it has 3 choices of porthole windows, pad painted tires. They're going to include the surfboards and the roof rack from the Chevelle station wagon. They're saying newly tooled, but I'm guessing that they are just a reprint of those, if you will. So that's the surfer look to it. It's going to have surfboards and whatnot. Then you're getting a reissue of the 1972 GMC Jimmy with big thing with this is M&H Racemaster 4 drag slicks, because this was a 4-wheel drive drag car. Build factory stock, build drag, your choice. Scalemate says this came out in 1970, which I'm guessing is probably not true if they're branding it as a 72, or maybe it did come out in 70 and it got modified every year as an annual. Not totally sure on that one, but be that as it may, this is basically the sister kit to the Chevy Blazer. They are effectively more or less the exact same kit with a different grill and a different hood. Otherwise, the contents should pretty much mirror one another exactly. And then you're going to get a reissue of the Ford C900 with the 28-foot Trailmobile trailer. This is going to have a Hostess livery tie-in, so Hostess truck, Hostess trailer. The last time that the truck was out itself just as a tractor, not one of the C600 stake trucks or box vans or whatnot. The last one was out just as a tractor was in 2008, and the last time that it has come as a box set like this with the tractor and the pup trailer was 2002, so it's been a little while if you haven't collected one of those. And then the most significant AMT release, probably for 2021, although there are a few things coming that may also take precedent, but this one is sort of really unique. Is it for what it may foreshadow, I guess we should say. And as a 1963 Chevy Nova station wagon, and is being branded as Craftsman Plus. And what a lot of us assumed this was that they had gone back and they tooled up a few new pieces to bring the old Boss Nova drag thing back into factory stock format and release it as a Craftsman style kit. And for people who don't know, because you're not old enough, I'm basing this off information of people who are old enough to know, those were basically promos, unassembled promotional models. The Craftsman were. They didn't have an engine in them at the time. They were usually then released again, maybe, as a full kit, but at the time they had a plate for where the engine would go. And this is going to replicate that in that Craftsman Plus series. But what makes it plus is it turns out this entire kit is all new tooling. Every bit of it. It does very closely mimic the old 1963 annual tooling, but it is completely brand new from the ground up tooling for all those people who, for whatever reason, didn't think those 6th-gen Camaros counted as a new tool kit and have been lamenting, when are we ever going to see a new tool kit? Well, There's your new toolkit, a 63 Noble wagon. Now, people who know the other versions of the 63 Noble wagon from back in 1963 know that there's two other ways that kit could come. It could come as a full detail kit, and it could also come as a drag racing tow package vehicle. Now, I cannot say for sure one way or another whether we will see any or both of those releases, although one of them is pretty much guaranteed at this point. But if you want to see them do things like this, where they're taking old kits and putting new bodies into them, or possibly recreating old kits altogether, buying this is a way to do that. I see a lot of people who sort of figured out that there is other versions of this coming, complaining that they will not buy this version. Why would they release this version? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to take an incredibly negative out view on life and the hobby at this point, killing this off in its infancy is a real good way to make sure that round two doesn't do nice things like this for you people anymore. I can't force you to buy it. I will probably actually buy one over the other options that may come down the road, just because this would be a really nice, quick, simple build. Comparing it to the old Craftsman kit to what you get, you're going to have glass headlights, glass taillights, as far as clear transparencies go, all the window glasses back, and like I said, everything is very closely mimicking that old Craftsman style, but it is all new tooling. It's about 49 parts, I believe, altogether, and the plate is separate from the chassis, so if you want to forego other things in the future, you can take that plate out, have a chassis. There is inner fender wells tooled into the body, so you can put an engine straight into this and go from there. So know that as well going in. So this is one of the biggest complaints against round two is the fact they don't make anything new. So this is something that they've made that is new, replicating something that's old. It hits you in your nostalgia feels, while at the same time providing you with a brand new model kit. I don't know what more you folks could ask for, but I'm sure some people will still find something to complain about because that's what people do anymore. Over to Aoshima. Let's go to Hostgator first. This will be a shorter list. Hostgator going to reissue the Nissan 240Z with its left-hand drive. Dashboard and parts, reissue the Honda Civic EG6 Seer 2, the Subaru 360 Deluxe, and then into our modifieds. BMW 2002 is a Bavarian police car, so this obviously, other than having Bavarian police car decals inside of it, is going to have some newly tooled emergency parts appropriate for 1960s, 1970s Bavaria, Germany. Going to reissue the Lancia Delta HF Integral Evo with a blue Lagos tie-in. There were 215 of these cars made with this specific sort of striping package to replicate. It's not the word I want to remember. Commemorate. There we go. I knew if I just went through my online thesaurus in real time. Commemorate the rally team that year, and then we're going to get a reissue of the Evo 4 in its 1997 Finland Rally winning livery. I believe that is a new set of decals in that kit. Reissue the Datsun Bluebird 1600 Triple S with Resin Girl, all the things. And reissue the Mazda Cosmos with its super detail packaging. This is going to have a white metal engine and some PE and whatnot to basically put an engine into this kit. First time that this kit has been reissued since 1994. Expected to be up high priced, sort of like the Nissan R89C that we just talked about the last regular weekly video, but not quite that high because there's not nearly as much photo etch and not nearly as much detail added to that compared to a race car where the whole back of the car comes off. This is just adding a white metal engine into it. And then last but not least, we're going to get a modified reissue of the new Tool R32 GTR, and this is going to be for the 1993 Japanese Touring Car Championship season. The STP Tyson liveried Autopolis winner, which is Autopolis racetrack, and it would be the third round, I believe, of the 1993 JTCC season. So the first of the race cars out of the new Tool coming out this month. Over to Aoshima. Again, these are all reissues, nothing new here at all. So if you need to slow the video down to make me talk like yes, you can, but otherwise we're going to fly. 89 Nissan GTR R32, Toyota Aristo Vertex 92, Nissan Gloria, Nissan Cedric Y32, 2002, Mazda RX-7 FD3S, Spirit R Type B, 85 Corolla GT Apex, 86 11 GT Apex, Volks Racing Rocket Bunny 86, Enki Racing, Rocket Bunny 86. So those are the ones with the over fenders, the black box art, and the red box art, both of them. And then on to the just regular restock. 72 Nissan Laurel 2000 Hardtop SGX, 73 Nissan Skyline GTR, 2016 Toyota 86 GT, 2015 Toyota Crown Royal Athlete, the one that has both of the bumpers and the wheels and the grills in the kit, 78 Nissan Glorious Cedric Brome, 88 Toyota Mark II Grande, 84 Toyota Truno GT Apex, 69 MGB, 74 MGB, 83 Nissan Skyline R30 Aero, 91 Nissan Sima, 2010 Toyota Hiace, 1991 S13 Silvia with the Rasty tuner version, always a popular favorite, 98 Toyota Chaser Tourer 5 Vertex, 91 S13 Silvia Vertex, 99 S15 Silvia Top Secret, 2007 Ings Subaru Impreza, 2002 Copen Pandora Evo 2, the Liberty Walk Laurel Kit, the Liberty Walk GTR version 2, the Liberty Walk GTR version 2 Type 2, 74 Countach, 85 Countach 5000 Quattrovol with the fuel injection. That would be this red kit right here in the original. Let's see, what am I putting at? The original kit, which was the yellow one. 2012 Pangani Warrior, 17-inch wheels, BBS RG, BBS 2s, RS2s, and BBS DTMs. 17-inch wheels. We've got the Watanabes, the Workmeister S1s, the Kawami Emotion CRs, the Graham Light 57 Extremes, the Volk T37 Gravels, and finally a reissue of the Brian James Transport trailers. So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your releases for January of 2021. Hope you found something in there to purchase. We have a couple of things that we're going to be grabbing out of the Hostgator pile, and we'll probably pick up the 63 Nova. And hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys on the other side.